Things are mostly shitty in the US right now, and I'm feeling it. It's pretty heavy. So, I just added some footage of the reptile show I went to this past weekend of some cute snakes to bolster everyone's cute feels. That's why I went. I needed to feel the cuteness. And I've made a list of tabletop role-playing games that could maybe help you feel a little bit better cathartically about the resistance right now, or just help you forget about it altogether and just relax and chill and feel cozy, warm, or romantic. So I'm gonna start with the coziest ones and go down to the more politically heavy cathartic ones, I suppose. So here they are. Mew Tama is a heartwarming Japanese game that's about wandering and travel. It's kind of like those heartwarming anime that you watch where there's not too much conflict and there's lots of beautiful landscapes and cute daily interactions. I'll also put these in a list down below so that you can easily access them. Starcrossed is a game by Alex Roberts that is about two people who really want to but really can't, or something like that. It's a romantic flirtation game that involves a Jenga tower that uses flirtation mechanics. It's super fun. Let Me Take a Selfie by Bree Sheldon. Up your selfie game with this anthology of selfie games. It's like a whole bunch of different ones that have different amounts of players and different mechanics, I think, behind each one. 1001 Nights is romantic scenarios, just like the stories of Scheherazade, which is what it's based on. So you can tell some kind of like romantic and fantastical stories that are based on the old 1001 Nights stories. A cozy den had to be in here, of course. Play Lesbisnakes, which are fantastical creatures, half lesbian, half snake, who are trying to make their den as cozy as possible during the winter time. So it's kind of some domestic conflicts, some cuddling mechanics, and you get to play a half snake, which is awesome. Dream Askew and Dream Apart by Avery Alder and another person. I can't remember their name, I'm sorry. This was recently kickstarted. I think it's available, but it's basically creating a queer community in the post-apocalypse and rebuilding what's been lost, which is Dream Askew. And then Dream Apart is kind of like the Jewish shuttle version of that. It seems, I haven't played it, but it seems like it is kind of like Jewish post-apocalyptic sci-fi. Dan the Man Save the Music by Hannah Schaefer. This is basically Empire Records, the role-playing game. Empire Records from the 90s is kind of like a romantic comedy teen drama that takes place in a record store. Oren is in Kickstarter right now. It's done by New Agenda Publishing, which is owned by 3 Black role-playing game designers. And the game itself, I can talk, is Afropunk, and it's kind of like a space opera. It seems super cool. The Hidden Lives of Trees by Luke. This is about the rise and fall of a forest. The Hidden Lives of Trees is also a book. I haven't played this one, but it seems kind of like map making, and you learn about forests and trees. Dialect is about the death of language, kind of. You kind of create, or you can use one of the pre-created settings and cultures. You create a culture, and then you kind of see how language evolves, grows, and then dies over time. It teaches you a lot about language and culture. It's really cool. Oh, that's by Catherine Himes and Hakan. Sorry, I'm doing terrible with the names of the people who have actually written these games. Okay, now onto the serious ones that are actually about fighting fascism and oppression. Night Witches, which is literally playing the women who fought in World War II in Russia against the Nazis. They're fighter pilots, so you will literally fight the patriarchy, gender oppression, and fascism. So that's some heavy shit right now, but cathartic. Feels good to punch some Nazis or shoot them down with planes. The Spire is fantasy punk. It's set in a city called the Spire. There are dark elves and high elves. You play the dark elves, and you're fighting your high elf overlord oppressors. Seems super cool. Comment on like heritage and race in the real world as a metaphor through fantasy race, like done in a good way. That's by Grant Howitt. And Night Witches, of course, is by Jason Morningstar. Mutants in the Night is a new Blades in the Dark hack that is being playtested by DC. You can find it on itch.io, and it's kind of like the X-Men, but heavier on the race and oppression themes. So like you're playing mutants who are imprisoned and oppressed, and how you're fighting to escape a system that doesn't support you. Resistor Volume 1 and 2. This is a collaboration between me and my friend Alyssa Leach, and we curated a bunch of games, art, and fiction from a bunch of people who aren't cis men, and you play cyber witches. So, and you're fighting basically the man, the oppressor. So it's a bunch of rituals, games, and like cyber witchy thematic things based on that premise. The Watch by Anna Kreider is another fantasy light setting where you play soldiers who are fighting the shadow. And the shadow is something that can twist mostly the minds of men. So it's kind of like toxic masculinity that you're fighting, that have taken over these people who are trying to destroy your world. And finally, Komatsu. This game is one of my favorite games. You play women in a Japanese village where all the men have gone away to war, and in walks Komatsu, this Ronin who can help save your village, but you have to convince him by like flirting with him and often debasing yourselves to try and get his help. It's a great commentary on gender and really interesting take on kind of like Akira Kurosawa samurai films. So that's my list of role-playing games to help you through these troubling times. I'm laughing because I don't know what else to do. The tragedy of the shooting in Pittsburgh this weekend, the bomb threats that were just sent out to various Democrats by an extreme right-wing person who is following the rhetoric of Donald Trump. The fact that they're trying to erase immigrants' civil rights status who are living currently in America, and the ability for trans people to be recognized by the government as people, along with the fact that, just the current state of the environment and how nothing is being done to kind of change or fight global warming politically is definitely overwhelming. That's all happened in like the past 5 days, and my love goes out to those people who are affected by that. I am feeling deeply affected by that, and do all you can to fight as hard as you can against what seems like the rise of fascism in America. It's here. We've got to fight it, and please go vote. I know that many people feel disenfranchised by the system. I certainly do and have been my entire life. Voting is one of the ways that we can affect that change, one of many. You have to fight the system from within and without, right? So go vote. Do whatever you can to try and get other people to come vote with you. Try to donate money if that's what you have. Donate time if that's what you have. Take care of yourself and your friends. That's super important. Do what you can, and if what you can do is to survive, please do that. Love to everybody, and I hope that this list of role-playing games can maybe give you a little bit of solace, peace, coziness, or catharsis maybe sometime this week.